It seems like every day you hear another story about some company getting hit by a cyber attack.
It's a huge worry for everyone these days.
It really is.
Yeah.
And that's why we're diving deep today into something super important: cyber insurance.
Exactly.
It's not just about having some policy anymore, though.
Right.
It's about all these specific requirements you need to even get covered in the first place.
You're right.
So,
A lot of businesses are finding that insurance companies are asking a lot of questions about how you're protecting your data before they'll even give you a policy.
yeah.
So today we're going to try to understand these requirements that insurers are asking for,
Okay.
especially the growing importance of something called immutable backups.
Interesting.
We'll also talk about how having these immutable backups can really help your business out.
All right. So think of this deep dive as getting the inside scoop on how to protect your valuable data
Right.
and maybe even save some money on insurance premiums at the same time.
Yeah, that's a great way to think about it.
Okay. Let's start with the basics.
Sure.
When we talk about cyber insurance, what exactly are we talking about?
What does that even mean? Well, cyber liability insurance, or cyber insurance as most people call it,
Right.
is basically like a safety net.
Okay.
If your business experiences data loss involving sensitive information,
Like what kind of information are we talking about?
we're talking about things like social security numbers,
Yeah. No.
medical records, financial details,
Okay.
that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's the kind of information that if it gets into the wrong hands, through a ransomware attack or hacking or just any kind of data breach,
Right.
it can cause some serious legal and financial problems.
Yeah, for sure.
And because this whole cyber insurance thing is relatively new
Okay.
for insurance companies,
Yeah.
the specifics of what each policy covers can really vary a lot.
So not all policies are created equal.
Not at all.
Gotcha.
But there are some common things that most policies will cover.
Okay. Like,
Well, they often include costs like notifying your customers
Right.
who've been affected by a breach,
right.
also investigating the attack itself
Okay.
to figure out how it happened and what data was actually stolen. And then there's the whole process of recovering the lost data,
Yeah.
which can be really complicated.
That's sure.
And then you have to deal with public relations,
Yeah.
try and minimize the damage to your reputation,
Right.
plus other general liabilities that come with the data breach.
Those are all things you don't really think about until
Right.
they happen.
Exactly.
And then you realize, wow, this could be really expensive.
Yeah, definitely.
So when we're talking about getting cyber insurance, how much are we talking about?
What's the investment like? Well, the premiums can really vary,
Okay.
depending on a bunch of different factors, like
Well.
how much coverage you need, the size of your business, and how complex your business is. But a really important factor is what kind of data protection you already have in place,
Interesting.
because that can significantly impact your premiums.
Right.
You could be looking at anything from a few $1,000s a year to tens of thousands of dollars a year.
That's a pretty big range.
It is.
So what makes such a difference in cost then?
Well, one big thing is if your current cybersecurity measures don't meet the minimum standards that the insurance policy requires,
Okay.
and that can actually make your premiums go up.
Gotcha.
Another interesting thing is that because cyber insurance is still pretty new,
Right.
insurance companies don't have a ton of historical data to really fine-tune their pricing models.
Interesting.
So a lot of experts think that premiums are going to keep going up, especially for longer-term policies.
Okay. So it sounds like this is something you can't really afford not to have,
Yeah,
given the risks involved.
I would say that's accurate.
But who exactly needs cyber insurance?
Right.
Is this just for like big corporations that are the main targets?
That's a common misconception.
Okay.
Cyber attacks, unfortunately, don't discriminate.
Right.
They target businesses of all sizes in every industry.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
I mean, just look at what happened during the pandemic. The FBI reported this huge surge in ransomware attacks.
Oh, wow.
That were targeting healthcare organizations and first responders.
Really?
Yeah.
That's scary.
It was a big problem.
Yeah.
Because not only did these attacks disrupt critical operations,
Right.
they actually put people's lives at risk.
Oh, wow.
And the ransom demands were huge.
I can imagine.
Ah,
So
that's a scary thought.
it is a serious issue. But generally, if your company collects and stores sensitive information,
Okay.
like personally identifiable information, social security numbers,
Right.
financial records, medical details,
Yeah.
then cyber insurance is probably a must-have for you.
Gotcha.
Some of the industries that are targeted most often by ransomware attacks?
Are things like construction, manufacturing, finance, healthcare, education, technology and IT logistics and transportation,
Okay.
automotive, municipal services, and legal.
So if your business is in any of those sectors,
Yeah,
you should really be thinking about cyber insurance.
definitely.
Okay, so we've talked about why you need cyber insurance.
Right.
But let's
Yeah.
go back to the requirements.
Sure.
What are insurance companies actually looking for when they're assessing your risk?
Yeah, what kind of security measures do you typically need to have in place to qualify? Well, as part of their process,
Okay.
insurers do these in-depth risk assessments
Yeah.
to decide if they'll even offer you coverage
Hmm.
and to determine what your premiums are going to be.
Right.
A really important part of this assessment is your cybersecurity.
Okay.
You know how strong is your cybersecurity right now?
Yeah.
Meeting certain cybersecurity standards is often a prerequisite.
A prerequisite.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have to meet these standards before they'll even give you a policy.
So what do those standards usually involve? What are the things that are non-negotiable?
Well, every insurance provider is a little bit different,
Sure.
but there are some common data protection measures
Okay.
that almost all of them are going to expect you to have.
Okay, like what?
These usually include things like having up-to-date antivirus software
All right.
to protect your systems from malware,
Mm-hmm.
a strong firewall
Okay.
to secure your network,
Mm-hmm.
well-defined access protocols and permissions,
Right.
with really good controls over who has admin access.
Makes sense.
And of course, regular data backups.
Yeah.
With at least one copy stored somewhere else,
Right.
either offsite or in the cloud.
Those all sound like pretty standard IT security practices.
They are.
Yeah.
They're the foundation of good security.
Right.
But there's something that's becoming even more important now.
Okay, what's that?
It's something called immutable storage.
Immutable storage.
Yeah.
What is that?
It's for your backups specifically, and it's becoming a key requirement for a lot of cyber insurance policies.
So what does immutable even mean
Right.
when we're talking about data?
Well, immutability basically means that once data is written to the storage system, it can't be changed or deleted.
Oh, wow.
So it's like a permanent record.
Yeah.
And this is becoming so important for insurers
Oh,
because cyber threats are always evolving.
right.
Attackers aren't just encrypting data anymore.
Mm.
They're actively trying to find and destroy your backups.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So they can prevent you from recovering your data
Okay.
without paying the ransom.
That's devious.
It is.
Wow.
But with immutable backups,
Yeah.
you have a much higher chance of recovering your data,
Oh.
even if your entire system is compromised.
That makes sense.
So by having this really strong layer of protection,
Hmm.
you're reducing the potential liability
Okay.
for both your business
Right.
and the insurance company.
So it's a win-win. And the good thing is that if you can show the insurance company that you have immutable backups in place,
Yes.
you might actually be able to get lower premiums.
You're in a much stronger position to negotiate.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So it's good for everyone.
Exactly.
Okay, so it makes sense.
Right.
If the bad guys can't touch your backups,
Mm-hmm.
that's a huge win.
It is.
But how can businesses actually implement this?
Right.
How can we go about implementing immutability
Yeah.
in our existing IT setup?
Well, at Stonefly, we're all about providing businesses like yours
Okay.
with really strong data protection, not just for cybersecurity,
Right.
but also to help you meet these evolving cyber insurance requirements.
Perfect.
And we offer a few different ways to easily integrate immutability into your current environment.
Okay, so tell me about how Stonefly does that.
So one option is our purpose-built on-premises appliances.
Okay.
These appliances come with built-in immutable worm storage.
Worm storage.
Yeah.
What's that?
It stands for write once, read many, meaning that data can be written to the storage,
Mm-hmm.
but it can never be changed or deleted.
Gotcha.
These appliances also have air gapping capabilities,
Okay.
which basically isolates your backups from your main network.
Okay, so it's like an extra layer of protection.
Exactly. And they
Wow.
include features like S3 object lockdown and file lockdown,
Interesting.
which ensure that your backups are really protected at the hardware level.
So that sounds like a really secure approach.
It is.
Yeah.
But what if a company can't invest in new hardware right now?
Right.
You know, they don't want to buy new physical appliances.
Yeah, what happens then?
Well, that's where our storage virtualization engine comes in.
Okay.
It's called SCVM.
SCVM.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's patented technology.
Wow.
What we can do with SCVM is actually create virtual immutable storage volumes
Okay.
using your existing IT infrastructure.
Oh, wow.
So we're basically leveraging resources that you already have.
That's smart.
It is. And it's compatible with all the major hypervisors like VMware, Hyper-V KVM, and Citrix.
So it's a really efficient way to create immutable storage
Exactly.
without having to buy a bunch of new equipment.
Yeah, you don't need any additional physical hardware right away.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a good option.
What about businesses that are mostly in the cloud?
Mm-hmm.
You know, they've moved a lot of their infrastructure to the cloud.
Yeah, we've got solutions for that too.
Okay.
We offer serverless integrated immutable storage
Okay.
in both public and private clouds
All right.
with support for automated storage tiering and data transfer.
So it's flexible.
It is.
Yeah.
We have something called the Stonefly Smart Cloud Gateway,
Okay.
which connects your applications and servers to immutable storage in platforms like Azure AWS,
Right.
any other S3 compliant cloud,
Gotcha.
and even our own Stonefly private cloud.
Oh, cool.
So you have a lot of options,
Yeah.
and you can choose the cloud environment that works best for you.
That's great. So it seems like Stonefly has solutions for a wide range of different IT setups.
We do.
Yeah.
We try to be as comprehensive as possible.
So is it complicated to implement these solutions?
Mm-hmm. Not at all.
Okay.
Our solutions are designed to be really easy to use.
Right.
They're turnkey and plug and play.
Perfect.
And our technical support team is here to help you every step of the way.
Right.
Installation to deployment to testing and optimization.
Having that kind of support is great.
It is.
Yeah, because it gives you peace of mind,
For sure.
knowing that you've got experts to help if you need it.
Exactly.
Now, for those of you who are already using Veeam
Mm-hmm.
for your backups and recovery,
Yeah.
you should know that Stonefly is a Veeam Gold reseller.
We are.
All right.
We've worked with tons of Veeam users
Yeah.
all over the world
Mm-hmm.
to help them integrate our immutable storage solutions
Yeah.
with their existing Veeam environments.
So Stonefly has experience working with all kinds of organizations then.
Oh, yeah. We have customers in all sorts of sectors.
Like what?
Government, healthcare, education, finance, manufacturing, construction.
Yeah.
You name it.
Okay.
We work with both large enterprises and small businesses.
Gotcha.
And they choose us not just for our technology,
Mm-hmm.
but also for our 24/7 technical support.
It's okay.
We're always here to help.
It's great.
And our dedication to providing really reliable and supported solutions
Yeah.
has made us a trusted Veeam reseller and a key technology partner
Cool.
for some of the biggest names in the industry.
That's awesome.
For further information about our appliances, contact us at sales@stonefly.com or visit our website, www.stonefly.com.
So to sum things up,
Yeah,
it sounds like cyber insurance is becoming absolutely essential these days,
I would agree.
given all the cyber threats that are out there.
Yeah.
And a really crucial factor in getting cyber insurance,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe even reducing the cost of it,
Right.
is showing the insurance companies
Yeah.
that you have strong data protection measures in place. And it seems like immutable backups are becoming a really big requirement.
They are.
Yeah.
You're essential.
Oh.
And at Stonefly, we're totally dedicated to giving you the solutions you need
Right.
to meet these evolving cyber insurance demands
Hmm.
without making things too complicated
Right.
or disrupting your business.
So for those of you listening
Yeah.
who are thinking about how to improve your data protection
Mm-hmm.
and meet the cyber insurance requirements,
Right.
what should you do?
Well, if you're looking for strong and easy-to-use immutable storage solutions
Okay.
to meet those requirements,
Sure.
you can reach out to us at sales@stonefly.com
Oh,
or visit our website at www.stonefly.com.
okay. And I think it's important for everyone to really think about
Mm-hmm.
the long-term implications of what could happen
Yeah,
if your data is vulnerable.
definitely.
You know, what could that mean for your business?
Right.
What could it mean for your reputation?
Mm-hmm.
And taking proactive measures,
Yes.
like implementing immutable backups,
For sure.
can really give you peace of mind,
Absolutely.
especially in today's world.
Yeah. It's a constantly evolving threat landscape.
It really is.
So you have to stay ahead of the curve
Right.
if you want to protect yourself.
Okay, so if you're interested in finding out more
Mm-hmm.
about how Stonefly can help you tailor an immutable storage solution for your specific needs
Right.
and help you navigate all the complexities of cyber insurance,
Mm-hmm.
what should you do?
You can contact our experts at sales@stonefly.com or visit www.stonefly.com.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us,
Thanks for having me.
and we'll see you next time
Sounds good.
for another deep dive.